Welcome to Accountant Basic Skill channel. Today I will take lecture number 3, Knowledge of Income Tax and Statutory Returns Related to Accounts Part 1. In this YouTube lecture I will take Finance Budget 2020. Okay, and the major amendment which is applicable from 1st April 2020. Before that, in financial 1920, government has changed the due date for filing of income tax return from 31st July to 30th November 2020. So let's begin finance budget 2020. Friends, my just request, please listen full YouTube video so that you can take the benefit of the advantage of the knowledge of finance budget 2020. I will also inform you in this YouTube lecture I will give a different type of shortcut techniques why government has introduced this provision so that it will fit in your memory. Okay, you will never forget, and in future also whenever you read government provision in related to accounts, you will first find you will first find what is the intention of the government to introduction of these provisions. If you understand the intention of the government, then only it will be fit in your memory. Okay, let's begin. Government has introduced new tax regime for individual and HUF. Now, what is the intention of the government for introduction of these provisions? Because government want to remove deductions, exemptions, various heads in income from salary, income from house property, income from business and professions. They want to, and income from other sources also. They are, and deduction under chapter 6A also. Now, what is the intention of the government for introduction of new tax regime? Friends, in new tax regime, you will not do fixed investment in government securities because more funds in your hands for spending purpose. More funds in your hands for spending. Okay. In old tax regime, any excess fund you will deposit in government securities, for example PPF, in government security, other securities also you can invest from your new housing property or second house property. Okay, in new tax regime they have removed the benefit of interest on housing loan also. Okay, let's see how much slab rates are there. In new tax regime, 6 different slab rates, that is 2.5 to 5 lakh, 5%. Here is the change. Here is 20% and here is 10%. Amount is 7.5 to 10 lakh. Here is 20%. Here is 15%. And here also. And here also. Okay. In above 15 lakh, constant. Okay. Now, how to select which tax regime is good, old or new? Okay, so I have given hypothetical example also. I have also given Excel formula so that you can do practice in Excel for application of if command, and new tax regime I have also given the formula so that you can do uh, if command practice. Okay, these are the hypothetical example. You have to take the gross salary of the any employee from old tax regime and new tax regime. Standard deduction is eligible for old tax regime, new tax regime no standard deduction. Deduction under chapter 6A, it is eligible for old tax regime and new tax regime. New tax regime only selected provision is allowed. Okay, friends, just I want to inform you that government has introduced new tax provision. Okay, but government has given option in the hands of the SSC. He can choose either old tax regime or new tax regime. So if you are a tax consultant, you will do tax calculation as per old tax regime and new tax regime. Based on that, you will give suggestion to your clients. In In this case, in both the if you see 16 lakh gross salary, but tax 1 lakh 9500, and here also 1 lakh 99. This is a really coincidence. But if you see here, the deduction, ATC deduction is removed. Okay, so my friends, please do practice in Excel and calculate tax as per old tax regime and new tax regime. Government has also introduced surcharge, applicable for income above rupees 50 lakh. Above 50 lakh to 1 crore 10%, 1 crore to 2 crore 15%, 2 crore to 5 crore 25%, and above 5 crore 37%. Okay. Health and education sets at the rate of 4% will be added to the income tax liability, and government has kept the old tax benefit, that is income below 5 lakh is eligible for rebate under section 87A of rupees 12,500. Under the new tax regime, government has set limits for contribution in NPS at the rate of 10%. So what is the intention of the government for introduction of these provisions? Friends, if any government organization doing contribution more than 10%, for example 12%, then 10% is eligible, 2% will be taxable in the hands of the employer. Okay, I have given example, I have given the list of deductions and exemptions which will not be available for new tax regime. Which are these? Standard deduction, LTA, house rent allowance, certain allowances, deduction under interest up to rupees 2 lakh removed, deduction of 1/3 family pension removed, all deduction allowed under section under chapter 6A except 80 CCD2 and 80 JJAA, that is employee related, including of rupees 1 lakh under section 80C in respect of contribution to provident, life insurance plan deduction 50,000 to contribution to NPS under section 80 CCD 1B. Removed all the deduction. Allowances for minor child removed. Exemption of sales unit under section 10 AA. Government to reduce the burden of the exemption deduction. That is why new tax regime is introduced. Okay, what is the main condition here? Option shall be exercised for every year along with filing of income tax return. At the time of filing of income tax return, he can choose either old tax regime or new tax regime. No exemption in respect of free coupon meal vouchers. Proposed to amend Rule 3 income tax rules, taxable in the hands of employee as a perquisite. That is Ms. Sodaxo taxable. Compare between new tax regime and old tax regime, and according to you suggest your clients which tax regime is better for the assessor. This is an important amendment for salaried class of employees. The finance minister has clarified that employer will have to deduct TDS for financial 2021 from 1st April 2020 onwards. Now this provision how to applicable from 1st April 2020. So employee has to give declaration to employer whether he want to choose old tax regime or new tax regime. Accordingly, employer will deduct tax. Okay, but there is an option available to SSC or employee up to the date of filing of income tax return whether you want to opt old tax regime or new tax regime. Clear? Corporate tax, most important, 3% is there, 30, 22, 15%. Okay. 30% general case, but I have given a asterisk here. Reduced to 25% shall be applicable where total turnover received in the last previous financial does not exceed 400 crore. That means above 400 crore 30%, below 400 crores 25%. And also reduce tax rate 22% for companies opting for section 115BAA benefit, and reduce tax rate for 15% for manufacturing and power generating companies. Okay. Third one, switch over between old and new tax regime. Friends, person having income from business or profession can can opt out only once from concessional tax regime. Now, why this provision has introduced? Because government does not want to give benefit of new tax regime, because if you select new tax regime in financial 2021 and next year you will change old tax regime. No, it is not allowed. Government specifically state that if you opt new tax regime for financial 2021 in the case of business or profession, same will be applicable for next financial years. Okay, same will be applicable for next financial year, because government has given option up to the date of filing of income tax return. You can choose either old tax regime or new tax regime. Okay. Conclusion is that whatever you have selected, old tax regime or new tax regime, same applicable for next financial year. Next, change relating to residential status. Why this provision has introduced? What is a loophole in the income tax? Whether government has losing major revenue? Answer is yes. Many taxpayer has taken benefit of residential status. Okay, and accordingly their foreign income will not be taxable in India. To remove such type of gap or loopholes in income tax provision, government has introduced this provision, that is reduction of number of days. A citizen of Indian or person of Indian origin having total income exceeding rupees 15 lakh other than foreign income, who comes on visit to India in a previous year, shall be considered as a NOR in India if they stay in India during the previous year 120 days or more, but less than 182 days. However, if they stay in India exceeding 182 days, then ordinary resident or non-ordinary resident shall be determined according to the old rule. Second provision is introduced. NRI shall be deemed to be non-ordinary resident. Here is the intention. It is quite possible that individual to arrange his affairs in such a way that helps him to end up the paying no tax in any country during the year. Typically, high net worth individuals, HNWI, will do this kind of arrangement to avoid paying tax in any country. In order to curb this practice of individuals, government has introduced these provisions. Same provisions are uh, income exceeding rupees 15 lakh other than foreign income and not liable to tax in any other country shall be considered non-ordinary resident, and income will be taxable in India. Audit limit increase from 1 crore to 5 crore. Now, what is the intention of the government? They want to remove cash transaction from the market. Okay, but condition is that any cash payment shall not exceed 5% of the aggregate payments, and cash received shall not exceed 5% of the gross receipt of turnover. Next one, business connection definition widened. Friends, foreign countries are taking major benefit for this definition. To avoid to loophole in income tax provision, government has introduced this provision. Especially foreign countries who are doing business through internet, they are not paying taxes in India. So government has introduced this provision so that their income will be taxable in India. Now, what is the condition? Condition is that advertisement targeted at resident or through Indian IP address, sale of data collected from resident or through Indian IP address, sale of goods services from data collected from residents or through Indian IP address. Means any data of Indian countries, it will be taxable in your hands. Means they have widened the definition of business connection. Means you are in the definition of Indian Income Tax Act. You cannot say that we are not satisfied the definition of business connection. Okay. Next one is cooperative societies. Old tax provision is up to 10,000 10%, 10,000 to 20,000 20%, about 20 30%. Now government has given option straight weight 22% with no exemption and deduction. That is deduction under section 80P. Next important provision, cost of property cannot exceed stamp duty value of immovable property. Why this provision is introduced? Because so many persons are taking advantage for calculation of, of fair market value as on 1st April 2001. So government has kept limit for fair market value, that is up to the stamp duty valuation. That is up to the stamp duty valuation you can value your fair market value. You cannot value more value than the limit or valuation amount as per the stamp duty. Suppose why this provision is introduced? Suppose stamp duty value is 60 lakh and if you are done the fair market value 75 lakh, then your purchase cost will be increased. You will get index cost benefit and there will be less capital gain. So government has limit the purchase cost, that is 60 lakh only, because as per the stamp duty valuation maximum value will be this much only. You cannot take the benefit of 75 lakhs. Okay. Next one, concessional rate at 15% extended 15%, that is already I have discussed. Cash donation limit under section 80 GGA restricted to 2000 only. Dim limit for 10% under section 43A 50C 56. Now what is the intention of the government to introduction of this? Friends, there are so many disputes between the taxpayers and SSC. Sorry, taxpayers and government, because as per the stamp duty valuation amount is 1 crore 5 lakh and as per the agreement amount is 1 crore. The government says that you have to pay tax on 1 crore 5 lakh. He said that the market for my property is 1 crore only. Why should I pay tax on 1 crore 5 lakh? So government has increased the difference limit from 5% to 10%, so that there will not be any dispute between the taxpayer and government. Limit of EPF, NPS and superannuation contribution. Employer contribution to Employer Provident Fund, National Pension Scheme, superannuation has combined upper limit of 7,50,000 per annum. Any amount such limit will be become part of the salary of the employee. So more amount will be taxable. Clear? Now government want to find out the many loopholes which income is not taxable, and introduction of this provision, any contribution of above 7,50,000 will be taxable in the hands of the employee as a per payment. Startup companies eligible to start up with turnover up to rupees 25 crores is permitted to deduct 100% profit for 3 continuous assessment year. For 3 continuous assessment, most important statement, of 7 years if the overall turnover is under rupees 25 crores, this limit has been increased to 100 crores. Friends, and furthermore the eligibility period to deduct increase to 10 years from 7 years. Friends, this is the important provision, 3 continuous assessment years. 3 continuous means 2090, 2020 and 2021. It is not allowed 2090, then 1 year skip, 2021, 1 year skip, 2000, no. Continuous 3 years. Next one. Faceless appeal to be enabled in Income Tax Act. Next, income tax on mutual fund taxable in the hands of unit holder. My God, so many amount will be taxable in the hands of the unit holders. Uh, the TDS rate is 10%, but from the 14th May 2020, the rate is 7.5% shall be for the resident if the income is exceed 5,000. And TDS 20% shall be deducted in the case of non-resident unit holder, but 15% from 14 May 2020. Instant PAN to allotted to online through Aadhaar. Next important problem, losses of merged bank. Many nationalized banks are merged with the main nationalized banks, or there are so many amalgamations. So government has introduced this provision so that unobserved losses and depreciation will be eligible for the new purchaser. Next provision, section 43B. Why this provision has been introduced? Because they want to give benefit to insurance companies also. Now for section 43B cover insurance companies also, especially PF is covered under section 43B. Now insurance also, and interest on loans from banks, this also covered in section 43B. Scope of equalization levy. Why this provision has been introduced, friends? So many foreign countries websites are taking benefits of Indian territory, and so many amount is not taxable in Indian territories. So government has introduced this equalization levy so that it will cover in business connection definition, and TDS provision also applicable, that is 6% applicable. So we'll explain it. With effect from 1st April 2020, there will be two transactions in respect of equalization levy shall be charged. 6% on the sum received or receivable by a non-resident for the online advertisement rendered for a specified person. 2% on the sum received or receivable by e-commerce operator from e-commerce supply of goods or services made provided to facilitate to a resident of India or person resident who buys such goods or services both using internet protocol address located in India. Online purchase from foreign countries website. Okay. A non-resident person in the following sale of advertisement which targets to customer who is a resident in India, or for customer who access the advertisement through internet protocol address. Sale of data collected from person who is a resident in India from a person who is in internet protocol address located. Intention of the government was to collect the equalization levy. Who is liable to pay equalization levy to government? In case of advertisement, the obligation to deduct equalization levy from the sum paid or payable to the non-resident advertiser. Means payer will deduct tax and pay to the government. Due date within 7 days after completion of quarter. In the case of Jan and March, 31st. Annual statement of equalization. Every e-commerce operator is liable to prepare a submit statement of equalization levy in respect to all e-commerce supply made during the financial on or before 30th June of the financial year, immediately following the financial in which equalization levy charged. New provision has introduced tax collection at source, that is from 1st October 2020. Most important, not from 1st April 2020. With effect from 1st October 2020, TCS at the rate of 5%, but from 14th May 2000, 3.7 is now applicable for remittance of rupees 7 lakh or more under liberalized remittance scheme route, and on purchase of overseas tour program package. Friends, there are many SSCs are doing overseas travel but not paying any taxes to the government. So government has introduced these provisions, but due to the present situation, government may think be applicable of this provision because of the present situation, many tourism industries are affected. Okay. Next one is 10% TDS rate if PAN or Aadhaar is not available. That is 7.5% from 14 May. Uh, TCS 0.5%, that is 0.3 points of 14 May, is applicable for loan taken for educational purposes. TCS on sale of goods, most important provision. Government want to take the money from the assessee from the beginning year also. Friends, it will affect the major working capital of the any taxpayer because percentage is lower but the amount is quite high if you calculate in at the year end. Okay, with effect from 1st October 2000, seller of a goods business turnover during the preceding year exceeding rupees 10 crores shall collect tax at the rate of 0.1% during the current year on an amount exceeding rupees 50 lakh. If your turnover is about 10 crores and the transaction which you are doing with the buyer is above 50 lakh, then you have to deduct TCS. However, no TCS under section 9 if export of goods cover under section under subsection 1, that is scrap, liquor, coal and motor vehicle, and goods cover under subsection 1G. TCS 1% is applicable if there is no PAN or Aadhaar. Seller is not required to collect tax if the buyer is liable to deduct tax under any other provision of this act on the goods purchased by him from the seller and he has deducted. Seller means any person whose total gross turnover business exceeds rupees 10 crore during the previous month. Next important provision, taxability of dividend under section 194 and 195. Dividend are now taxable in the hands of the shareholders. Okay, and government has set limit of deduction, that is maximum of 20%. Means if you have taken loan for investment in shares and if you receive any dividend in that financial year, then interest on loan taken for investment in shares will be eligible for deduction because expenditure are connected with the income. So government has fixed the limit maximum 20%, subject to cap of 20% of such income. Is 10,000 dividend, maximum 2,000 deduction. 80% amount will be taxable. A relief has been provided to the companies for introduction of section 80M for allowing a deduction of dividend issued by a company from any domestic or foreign company or from business trust. Deduction shall be lower of dividends issued by the company or the dividends issued by the company before the due date. Okay, the issuer is company, the government has introduced. With effect from 1st April to the Indian company shall liable to deduct TDS at the rate of 10% under section 194 if the aggregate of dividend exceed rupees 5,000. Okay, and dividend is payable to resident India. But in the case of foreign, section 195, 20% dividend. However, the DTA provision will be applicable. Okay. Next important provision, TDS on dividend and dividend on units. Similar provision as per the dividend. 10% TDS rate. Here also 10%. Limits is 5,000. Here also same limit. Same limit for foreign recipient. Same limit. Okay. Threshold limit TDS on interest other than securities under section 194 increase from 5,000 to 50,000 for senior citizen and 40,000 for other people. That is applicable from 1st April 2000. Next important TDS on employee stock option for startups. To ease the cash flow burden on employees of startups, the eligible startup shall deduct TDS and pay TDS within 14 days from the 14 days of the deduction from earlier of Expiry of 48 months from the end of the assessment year in which ESOPs have been granted. Date of sale of such securities or date on which individual shall cease to be an employee. This is new provision. Tax concession for foreign investment, 100% tax exemption to the interest, dividend and capital gain income on investment made in the infrastructure and priority sector before 31st March 2020 with a minimum lock-in period of 3 years by the sovereign and wealth fund for foreign government. That is the intention of the government is foreign company can invest fund in specified infrastructure and priority sector, but the lock-in period of 3 years. Next provision important. Under section 80EA, the additional deduction of 1.5 lakh for interest paid on home loans will now be allowed for the loan sanction till 31st March 2021. Means date extended. Under section 194J, technically the TDS has been reduced to 2% from 10%. Okay. Definition of 194C as amended with effect from 1st April 2009. Subclause E to clause 4 of explanation section 194C was amended to include the manufacturing supply product according to the requirement or specification of the customer by using material purchased from such customer or its associate under section 40A to be the definition of work earlier, but does not include the purchase from other than such customer. In previous provision, these are the excluded, but now in this provision they have included. Vivad Vishwas scheme extended deadline 30th June 2020 to reduce the litigation director waiver of interest penalty only disputed tax paid payment of up to 31st March 2000. Additional amount to be paid if available after 31st March. Benefit to taxpayer in whose cases appeal are pending at any level. Friends, there are amendment also because this date is 30th June 2020 based on the present scenario due to the lockdown. Uh, Various amendments in the Vivas and Vishwas scheme. Okay. Next important is due date for filing of income tax default 30th some change to 31st October and also extended to all partners of firm whose accounts are required to be audited. The definition has amended working partners to all partners. Okay. Section 56 most important amendments where any person receive any immobile property without consideration the stamp duty value shall be included in the total income if that value is more than 50,000. Here is the calculation for consideration of stamp duty value is more than the actual sale, then the different amount shall be included in total if the differential amount is more than the higher of the following 50,000 or 10% of actual sale consideration. Earlier that is 5%. Next provision. Penalty will be levied on a person if identified during any procedure under the Act that books of account maintained by him contain false entry, omission of entry to evade tax liability. Then assessing officer will levy the penalty. Means false invoice, GST invoice without actual supply of receipt of such and goods, GST invoice or from a person who does not exist. Must God. Penalty shall be equal to aggregate amount of such false or omitted. Penalty may also levy to any other person who causes to make a false entry or to omit any. Okay. Income tax appellate tribunal can grant stay demand in respect of appeal filed before it only if assessee deposit not less than 20% of disputed tax or furnishes security. This is important provision, friends. Income tax department is not taking the appeal because 20% tax has to be deposited before the appeal, but in this case furnishes a security, it will benefit to the assessee. Okay. Next one is both existing and new charitable religious institution funds have to make fresh application for registration and certificate of exemption can grant for a granted for a period of 5 years at once. Okay. Entities receiving donation shall furnish statement to department and issue certificate to the donor. Failure of the same attracts section 234G. Friends, that's it for the today. Hope that you like the lectures. Friends, if you understand the so many amendments from 1st April 2020. It will benefit for you, so that you can do your various taxation work in financial 2020-21. A disclaimer is also: the information contained here in the general nature is not intended to address the circumstances in any particular individual. Friends, there are so many minute amendments. Um, generally, this disclaimer is also be there. Um, Many precaution has been taken for preparation of these notes, but minor minor corrections, it may not be given in this, or may be skipped, but not from intentional. Okay, you can cross verify the any contents of these notes from the website, also from the original text also. Okay, so friends, we will in the next lecture. Hope that you like the lecture. If you like the lecture, please press the bell icon and subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you.